Let me share with you something I carry in my heart. I have 6 daughters and 2 sons, but there is one daughter 16 years old, the only one among our children who has taken a different path in her life. We have struggled with it. She suffered a serious car accident. They had to pull her out of the vehicle. She has taken a path of drinking and experimenting with drugs. I know this is a path, and it is a very painful path. She has had very difficult moments with it. She has this whole issue with authority and with doing things her own way, and I understand it because that has been the story of my life as well. I must tell you that over the past 3 or 4 months, there have been incredibly dramatic changes in our relationship. And this is due to a change in the way my wife and I have been facing this situation. Before, when I thought about her, I was filled with rage, with pain. I cried and got angry at the foolish decisions she made and the senseless things she did. I don't know if you have raised teenage daughters, but I once saw a wonderful title for a book on this subject. It read, "Get Out of My Life." That was the title, but in small letters it added, "But first take me and Cheryl to the mall." It is an excellent book, by the way. That was my mind when I thought about it. I tried to meditate, I worked on it, but nothing seemed to work. Then I began to study the fundamentals of mysticism, a series of lectures by Joel Goldsmith, a great healer who lived in the 1950s. He wrote Parenthesis in Eternity in the Infinite Way. Wonderful readings. He was a Christian scientist and also a great supporter of chiropractic. He spoke of how we annul disorder, disease, disharmony, and so on, and he reminded us that the spirit gives life, the flesh counts for nothing. These words I am telling you are spirit. He said that kneeling down and asking God to heal you or to grant you abundance where there is lack is a useless mission, because the assumption behind asking God for something is that God already has it but is withholding it. He said that in Luke 15:31, it is written, "All that I have is yours." It is already yours, and you are already connected with all that I have. God, he said, is not going to do anything different an hour from now than what he is doing now, and God is not going to do anything different an hour from now than what he did 100 or 1,000 years ago. God is the infinite now. Do not assume that God is a God who withholds. If I had the keys to heal you, to give you abundance, to offer you a great relationship, or to provide you with a job, whatever it is you desire, and I withheld it unless you asked me or followed the rules I set, you would think I am not even a good person, much less a good God. He said you must know that you are already connected with it, and that disease, disharmony, discord will be nullified, eliminated when you bring spirit to them. When I thought about my daughter and the rage I felt, I saw myself connected to the physical, to the laws of matter, and in my mind I disconnected from the material and connected to God. It is a wonderful mental image. When things are not going as you would like, disconnect from the laws of the physical, especially when there is disharmony, disorder, illness, and connect with God. And what you do when you connect with God is bring love, forgiveness, hope, joy, wholeness into that situation and correct the error, and it disappears. I had a friend who was diagnosed with cancer and told she had only a few months to live. She knew she was in disharmony and did not even tell her parents. She told no one. She knew what she had to do. She had read all the spiritual literature, immersed herself in meditation and deep prayer, but she was still surrounded and contaminated by the energy field of those who lived in fear and without faith. So she left, rented a cabin in northern Wisconsin, and went alone. And in the process, what she knew she had to do was, for 8 to 10 hours a day, reconnect with her source. And in the process of doing so, of simply being in communion with God and bringing peace, she returned as a clean, whole, and healed person. It is in the act of bringing spirit to illness. That is why I say, and I told you from the beginning, that you must be operating at a different level. The antecedent of every action is a thought. Here are some practical suggestions to connect with yourself as a spiritual being, to show yourself that you are more than a 5-sensory being. Write down all the things you experience within you that go beyond your sense of taste, sight, hearing, smell, and touch. By keeping a record of what creates your actions, you gain the insight that your actions come from something that is not physical at all. To help yourself experience being a multisensory being, Test the power of your mind on something you perceive as difficult. Visualize yourself doing something, like improving your golf swing, not taking a drink at a party, or running a mile. Describe it in detail in writing or record it on a tape. Do this several times and see if you can manifest the vision into your physical world. When you do, you will have gone beyond the limits of your five senses. To become familiar with the reality of your invisible world, question the purely physical evidence reported by your five senses. Your senses tell you the world is still and that you move upon it, but you know the world is traveling at staggering speeds. Evaluate how much your senses deceive you about your own reality, and then ask yourself why you rely so much on them. To contact divine or spiritual guidance, simply for one day, suspend your skepticism. Give yourself the gift of a quiet place and a quiet hour for yourself. Ask for help in an area that troubles you. See if you can create an image of receiving help from a guide who cares about you and wants to offer you love. I guarantee that if you make this a regular habit, you will begin to go to this magical inner place regularly, and you will receive the guidance that had previously eluded you. What you will be doing is making direct contact with your higher self, with the divine. Intelligence is always with you to connect you with the invisible dimension we call death. Keep a record of your dreams, especially those in which you are in the presence of someone who was once in your life, but has already passed away. When you make contact with those souls in your dreams and experience how real they still are, you will see that aging and death are only realities for the world of the five senses. You will gain an awareness of your own immortality and begin to know that those you loved who have passed on are not truly gone from your life. They are there, available to you, so that you can extend your sense of guidance in your life. Begin to understand that you do not have to be asleep to make contact with the soul. If you can connect with the higher dimension in your dreams, work on believing that same connection, that same loving guidance is available to you whenever you choose to acknowledge it. To find models and companions on your journey, read about the personal experiences of people you admire. As you do so, look for the spiritual dimension in their personal journeys. Whether your heroes are athletes, writers, clergy, musicians, artists, or anyone else, virtually all truly inspired leaders in their fields reached a point in their lives where they felt they were being guided. They knew they were not alone and began to trust in divine guidance to reach levels they believed they could not have reached otherwise. To learn new ways of sharing, examine your behavior toward the people in your life whom you feel the need to dominate or control, whether a spouse, children, co-workers, or anyone else. Take time to relate to them differently, seeing beyond their physical form to the fullness of God that is in them. Once you begin to see beyond the physical body of those around you, you will begin to relate to the same invisible force that flows through you and them. To practice a life not centered on control, try helping someone do something for themselves instead of telling them how to do it. Replace the search for external power with authentic and genuine power, which is the ability to empower others to take control of their own lives. To prove to yourself that you are not alone, imagine that you are connected by invisible threads with every person you meet. In this way, you will begin to treat others as if they truly were part of you. You will tend to extend love and help instead of feeling hostility and competition. To recognize how you have been taught to hate, make a mental note of all the people you consider enemies. Realize that you have been taught to hate. Few people understand the simple message that the true enemy is hatred itself. Free yourself from this hatred and fill yourself with harmony. This does not mean you should be a victim of the unpleasant actions of others. What it means is that you do not need to harbor hatred or desires for violence in your heart. To get in touch with the non-physical universe, begin to feel comfortable with the concept of nothingness. Your thoughts arise from the empty, silent space of your mind, from nothing to a thought, effect without cause in the purely physical sense. Miracles need no physical cause. Allow yourself to experience the phenomenon of something arising out of nothing. To connect with your non-physical self, withdraw from the physical world for a brief period of time, in silence, within your own mind. Let go of each of your senses, as you do each night when you sleep. The more you are able to release your attachment to your body through your all-powerful, all-knowing mind, the less you will use your physical state as a way of evaluating your life. To keep your focus on purpose instead of outcome, keep your mind, body, and soul fully in the moment of your activity, in all your activities. Stop and truly ask yourself, why am I doing this? You will discover that the outcome, the victory, the reward, is as fleeting as the moment you engage in the activity. Stay focused on the purpose of your activities rather than centering on the final reward. To free yourself from concern about worthless things, reconsider your attitude toward your possessions. Take an inventory of everything you own. Is there anything on that list you would die for? Now think about your values, your ideals, your loved ones, and ask yourself the same question. You know what your priorities are. They all have to do with what you think and believe, not with what you own. Stay in that purpose and you will automatically find yourself shifting your focus toward the spiritual in your life. What follows is a guide to shifting your mindset toward experiencing a world where true magic is not only possible, but is your birthright. With this shift, creating miracles will become something you not only believe is possible, but also manifest in your everyday life. First, suspend judgment and disbelief. I encourage you to cultivate a newly declared openness toward anything and everything that is a possibility for you. Having an open mind and suspending disbelief allows you to experience new perspectives, while a closed mind keeps you trapped in your old ways of thinking and seeing the world. True magic is available only to those who can imagine any and all possibilities, while leaving the how to take care of itself. Second, create a zone of true magic in your mind. Make this a very private part of your life. Reserve a small part of your consciousness exclusively for this. I have been able to manifest what constitute miracles for me by having this private zone only for myself. Retreat often to that place to ask for loving guidance, and the guidance will be there. Third, affirm yourself as a person without limits. When you have developed this zone of true magic in your mind and trust that you can access it at will, begin to affirm for yourself that there are literally no limits to the powers you possess. A good rule is this: if you can conceive it in your mind, then it can be brought into the physical world. To become your own miracle maker, you will have to change the thoughts that create your world of limits and boundaries. Why not include the presence of true magic in your life as well? Fourth, develop a new mindset about the concept of intuition. You must truly become comfortable with the idea that intense inner promptings and sudden hunches are truly inner voices offering you guidance. Think of your intuitive self as God speaking to you privately, in the same way you speak privately to God and call it prayer. I am absolutely certain you have numerous stories of moments when an inner voice moved you to behave in a way that seemed irrational, but turned out to be life-saving. This happens to everyone. Most of us receive these intuitive signals regularly. Your intuition, that fuzzy inner voice you hear so often, is part of your life. It is there. It is real. Pay attention to it. Number 5, discover the secret that lies in the center and knows. Familiarize yourself and become comfortable with the notion that nothingness has something to offer you on your path to true magic. Consider that it is the space between the notes that creates the music. A note without space is just a long sound. Without nothingness, there is no music. Consider this. A room is not a room without an empty, silent space inside it, surrounded by the material form. Without nothingness, there is no room. The same is true for you. You too are a material form surrounding the invisible, silent void that is also you. Without that nothingness within you, there can be no you. It is from that secret in the center that you will be able to create miracles for yourself. Number 6, learn to learn through knowing and trust rather than doubt and fear. Much of your learning has likely involved questioning your ability to acquire a particular skill. You were taught to doubt in a culture that emphasized you cannot. That is wrong. You lack the proper training, or you do not have the credentials or the necessary experience. From doubt arose the fear of your greatness, the fear of disapproval, the fear of failure, of intimacy, and even of success. If you want to become familiar with true magic, fear and doubt must be replaced by trust and a strong reliance on inner knowing. Keep in mind that behind fear lies powerlessness. What you fear is something you are fighting against, and fighting always weakens you. Behind trust lies empowerment and love. It is always your choice, and the choice begins in that formless inner world of the mind. Number 7, affirm that your intention creates your reality. Memorize and remind yourself continually, my intention creates my reality. Intention is the energy of your soul coming into contact with your physical reality. What you see around you, whom you associate with, how you function daily, and virtually everything related to your physical being is the result of your intentions or of how your thoughts have been energized into action. Creating miracles in your life comes from your intention to do so, not from your wish, not from your longing, not from your goal, but from your intention. Only then will you begin to convert that very potential into your reality in the material world. Number 8, experience surrender in Satori. Surrender is equivalent to placing inspiration in your life. When you are inspired, you feel purposeful. When you trust the invisible intelligence of the universe, you feel guided. It can happen in an instant, and it often does. In Zen, they call this process Satori, which translates roughly as instant awakening. This feeling of Satori is the result of an internal decision to be in harmony with yourself and with your physical world. It truly is a decision to surrender. Number 9, learn to act as if the life you visualize is already here. Act as if what you perceive in your mind is already here in the physical world. You create your thoughts create your intentions create your reality. Accordingly, you must begin to ignore your own doubt about the importance of your inner world and start acting as if the images you desire are already your reality. If you want to be self-confident, but you do not normally act that way, today act, even once, in the physical world as you believe a self-confident person would act. This is how miracle-minded people actually behave in their lives. Try it. Number 10, live according to your spiritual self first and your physical self second. In developing your mindset for true magic, you must begin the process of living primarily according to your spiritual self. Miracles will occur only if the choices you make are in harmony with your spiritual self. Your first responsibility is to your spiritual side. Consult with your mind before acting, and therefore be authentic with yourself. It is nothing more than an inner shift. There is no need to discard your physical habits or pretend your physical desires do not exist. What you do is reorganize your priorities, putting contact with your soul first, giving it your attention first, and allowing your behaviors in the physical world to flow from those new thoughts. Look within and listen, and your priorities will be clearly seen and heard by your physical self. Step 1. Identify your intention verbally and in writing, and develop a deep longing for it. When you create a great longing for the experience of a peaceful family, everything will begin to happen to fulfill that longing spontaneously and naturally. Instead of praying to a saint or to God for a miracle, pray for the miracle of inner awakening, which will never abandon you. Step 2. Wish for all your relatives the same as you wish for yourself. When someone criticizes, judges, or acts when someone is angry, expresses hatred, or blames you, that person is not at peace with themselves. Wish this peace for them even more than you wish it for yourself. Let me repeat it. Wish this peace for them even more than you wish it for yourself. This requires no words or actions on your part. Simply imagine the people in your family with whom you are not at peace and feel the peace you wish for them. Your inner speech will change, and you will begin to experience the peaceful authenticity of both beings. Step 3. Be the peace you seek in others. If peace is missing in your family relationships, it means you have a place within you occupied by non-peace. Greet non-peace in a friendly way and then let it go. You are sending a peaceful feeling toward non-peace. The lower energies you are experiencing will be weakened by your peaceful greeting and will eventually disappear as the divine grows within you. The path to this peace is through whatever form of silence or meditation works for you, even if it is only a 2-minute breath in which you remain quiet. Focus on the name of the divine or repeat the sound Ah as an inner mantra. Step 4. Connect with the 7 faces of intention. If you have forgotten what the universal mind of intention looks like, it is creative, kind, loving, beautiful, ever-expanding, infinitely abundant, and receptive to all of life. This kind of spiritual energy will be transformative, not only for you, but also for your relatives. Your intention for peaceful relationships is now taking shape. First in your mind, then in your heart, and finally it will materialize. Step 5. Review all the obstacles that have been erected in your path toward family peace. Listen for any inner dialogue that centers on your resentment toward the expectations of others. Remind yourself that when you think about what you resent, you act according to what you think while simultaneously attracting more of it to you. Examine your energy field for your tendency to react to lower energies with more of the same, and give your ego a reminder that you will no longer choose to feel offended or need to be right in these relationships. Step 6. Act as if. Begin the process of acting as if what you wish to manifest were already true. See everyone in your family with the love and light that is their true identity. When someone asked Baba Muktananda, a great saint in India, "Baba, what do you see when you look at me?" Baba replied, "I see the light in you." And the person answered, "How is that possible?" "I am an angry person. I am terrible. You must see all that." Baba said, "No, I see the light." This story is told by Guru Mai in a wonderful book called Ignite My Heart. So see the light in others and treat them as if that were the only thing you see. Step 7. Detach from the outcome. As long as you remain connected with intention and radiate outward the elevated energy you have attained, you will have your peace. It is not your place or your purpose to make everyone else in your family think, feel, and believe as you do. You will very likely see dramatic changes in your relatives as you teach them with your own person how you wish to be treated. But if they do not change and continue with their non-peaceful ways, let go of your need to see them transformed. In letting go, you guarantee your own peace and dramatically increase the chances of helping others do the same. Step 8. Affirm, "I attract only peace into my life." Repeat this phrase over and over. I attract only peace into my life. I say it silently to myself as an absolute truth, with unwavering intention on my part. And it works for me almost all the time. People respond to me with smiles, acknowledgments, kind gestures, and friendly greetings throughout the day. I also remind myself of the apt observation from A Course in Miracles. When I feel anything other than peaceful at any given moment with my family, they say in A Course in Miracles, I can choose peace instead of this. Step 9. Hold no grudges and practice forgiveness. The key to having peace in all your family relationships is forgiveness. All your relatives are simply doing what they have been taught to do throughout their lives and throughout the lives of many of their ancestors. Fill them with understanding and forgiveness from your heart. And finally, step 10. As always, live in a state of gratitude. Instead of being in a state of non-peace regarding any family member, say a prayer of gratitude for their presence in your life and for all they have taught you. These are the 10 steps you can practice every day as you work toward the absolute certainty that this intention will manifest for you. Remind yourself daily that you will never improve a bad relationship by condemning it. These are principles that I do not believe have to be so complicated. They are principles characteristic of those who take the road less traveled, those who are on the less crowded mile. And here they are. If you can live them, practice them, and work them, or help others do so, perhaps we can collectively begin to counter some of the negativity of those who cannot tell the difference between falsity and truth. Have a mind open to everything, attached to nothing. Move through life with the idea that anything is possible. Do not die with your music still in you. Listen to the voices you hear, no matter what others may say. Remember, you can never give what you do not have. So if you are seeking love, do not look for it in the wrong places. Look within, give it, and draw it into your life. Embrace silence. Remember that the only voice of God is silence. And all your creativity and everything you are destined to do here, you appeared with this heroic mission, lies in the void, in the silence, and will arise from that silence. Abandon your personal history. Do not attach yourself to everything that has happened in the past, since it is only a wake, only a trace left behind. And the wake can never drive the boat. Remind yourself always that, whatever your problems may be, you cannot solve them with the same mind that created them. Rewrite your agreement with reality. Turn anything into a possibility for you. Free yourself from all those resentments you justify, because there are no justifiable resentments. All of them will destroy you. Treat yourself as if you already were what you truly would like to be. Act accordingly. See yourself having abundance, being healthy, being happy. See yourself playing that trumpet, and you will not be able to do anything but play it. Treasure your divinity. God does not make junk. And finally, remind yourself that to be wise is to avoid all thoughts that weaken you. Every thought you have does one of two things. It either weakens you or strengthens you. I think of those who do not recognize this great power, this force that is in everything and everyone, the one that opens flowers and allows butterflies to flutter their wings, and who believe that everything is a great accident. I love this story of the Buddha. The Buddha is traveling, and in every place he visits, he encounters criticism, hatred, and disrespect from all these people who have done nothing but try to tear him down. And he always responds with peace, always responds with love. After 3 or 4 days of seeing these people continually harassing him, ridiculing him, criticizing him, and behaving unpleasantly, his devotees ask him, "How can you do that? After 3 days of receiving only that kind of energy, you always respond with love." The Buddha answered this question with another question. He said, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" What he is saying is that if someone offers you a gift of negativity, of low energy, of criticism, of hatred, or whatever it may be, and you simply do not accept it, to whom does it belong? If it is theirs and belongs to them, why would you allow something that belongs to someone else to affect you, depress you, stress you, or hurt you? That is all you have to remind yourself, and you would be amazed. It is a good thing to work on, a good thing to practice, especially if you have children, because they give you many opportunities to do it. You can work on seeing whether you can change that energy, whether you can move it from low to high. See if you can lift it even a little. You all know instinctively how to do this, because you were born with that quality. We only lost it when we adopted the ego. Thank you, and God bless you. Having reached this point, subscribe to the channel, because I am going to upload the full program and more parts from our mentor, Wayne Dyer.